Woo! I am so glad gyms are open again. You see this thing? I don't have to use this as a dumbbell anymore. That was a huge goddamn pain in the ass. Hold on. What's that? Gyms aren't open where you are? Dude, my sincerest condolences. That really sucks. Because in Australia, thing is, Corona, that's history. That was last month, 2 months ago. We've had maybe 1 or 2 cases a day for the last, sort of 6 weeks. However, maybe you're watching this, maybe you're in New York or Russia or Mexico, where I'm aware it's very much still a thing over there. The whole coronavirus situation is still very much present in your day-to-day life. There's still lockdown, there's still quarantine, gyms are still closed, restaurants are still closed, and people are still fearful. In places like the US, Russia, and Mexico, you guys are still getting tens of thousands of new cases every single day. It's insane. In places like Europe, the UK, quite a lot, but it's starting to settle down. It's becoming less and less relevant. And then, dude, Australia, New Zealand, Corona is yesterday's news. So knowing this, do you think that your marketing should be the same to each of these different countries? If you answered no, you would be correct. If you're using the same exact ad that talks about Corona and lockdown and quarantine, and you're running that to every different country, well, I got a news flash for you, it probably ain't gonna work. Some countries are gonna be going crazy over it, your ad will be crushing it there, and then the other half of the world, dude, your ad is just, it's not relevant at all. So knowing this, how do we make sure our marketing is Corona relevant and actually gets the attention of your prospects and clients and customers, and basically actually returns your ad spend so that you're not just sort of throwing money down the toilet? So firstly, if you're running ads, I highly suggest that you run a different ad campaign to different parts of the world. I would probably go traffic light, red, yellow, green. So green being places like Australia, where if you mention the word Corona, your ad's basically not relevant. So Corona-free zones. Yellow, where it's like still much of a thing, but it's, sort of ramping down and, life slowly returning back to normal, places like Europe and the UK. And then I would have a full red ad, which still talks about Corona and lockdown and quarantine and fear and all that stuff, because that's still very relevant in those parts of the world. So you don't have to run a different ad to every single country. That would drive me insane. That would drive you insane. What I think would be a great idea is just red, yellow, green it. Have 3 different ad campaigns that you're going to run to various parts of the world, depending on where they're at. Now, does this mean you should have 3 different email lists and 3 different Instagram accounts and 3 different Facebook pages? I don't think so. That sounds like a huge pain in the ass to me. I don't know about you. What I would do though, if you really wanted to take this seriously, depending on how big your audience is, how big your email list is you could segment your email list and run different email campaigns to different parts of the world if you wanted. If that particular email talked about Corona and you're selling stuff, I've got news for you. It's not going to hit in Australia, but US, Russia, etc., it will hit. So you could do that if you wanted as well. But other than that, the best thing to do with your audience, your email list, and your Instagram following, let's say, is just take a look at your analytics. Really cool thing is that Instagram will tell you where your audience is. You don't have to guess. Take a look at where the majority of your audience is. Go onto Google, type in coronavirus country cases, and you'll get a pretty good sense for where that country is in terms of, the evolution of Corona. And then based on where the majority of your followers are, that is kind of where you should talk about Corona being at. So that way you can make sure your marketing is as relevant as possible to as many people as possible. Just keeping this in mind is honestly going to put you ahead of most marketers, particularly people in the US. Nothing on the US. You guys are amazing. I love you. Except you just kind of tend to forget that there's a world that actually exists outside the US. So you just knowing this will honestly put you ahead of most marketers in today's day and age. So just be aware of that, and then knowing that you can run different marketing campaigns to different parts of the world to make sure your marketing is still relevant and you continue to stay at the top of the game, which is exactly what I want for you, champ. Hope that helps. Talk to you soon.